Welcome, chosen ones. There's a truth that resonates deeply for those walking in divine purpose. Some debts in life can never be settled with material wealth. Instead, they are repaid with sleepless nights, missed opportunities, and regrets that haunt like shadows. For you, God's chosen, this truth takes on an even greater significance. Your name is more than a collection of letters. It carries weight in higher realms, a sacred resonance that cannot be ignored. And when someone dares to wrong you, it's no small act. The consequences ripple far beyond the earthly plane, touching dimensions they could never begin to comprehend. Take a moment to reflect. Have you noticed how life has a way of creating poetic justice? Those who tried to sabotage your journey often find themselves tripping over the very traps they set for you. Comment 777 below if you've witnessed this kind of divine justice at work in your life. And to those of you who continue to support this channel through super thanks, thank you from the depths of my heart. Your generosity is a blessing, allowing us to spread messages of faith and encouragement to all who need them. You are truly making an impact. Now, let's dive deeper. This isn't about revenge or wishing harm on anyone. No, this is about the divine justice crafted for those who carry a calling. It's about understanding that higher realms don't forget. They keep receipts. And when the time comes, those accounts are settled with precision. Can you imagine the weight of knowing that every wrong against you is met with a response tailored by the hand of God? That's what sets you apart. You are chosen, a beacon in the spiritual world, and every action against you carries consequences that are bespoke, designed to teach and transform. Stay with me, because what comes next will uncover how this cosmic justice unfolds, and why some people will come to deeply regret crossing paths with God's chosen. What if their regrets go far beyond their expectations? What if the repercussions echo louder and further than they ever imagined? Let's explore how the divine ensures justice is served in ways that are both unforgettable and undeniable. God's chosen ones, many will regret wronging you, your name's echoing in higher realms. Karma for God's chosen ones operates on a profound and intricate level, far beyond the simple adage of what goes around comes around. It is as if the divine has orchestrated a deeply personal and transformative experience for anyone who dares to harm those chosen by God. These lessons are not random, they are precisely tailored to the offender, targeting the deepest parts of their soul. Have you ever wondered why those who wrong you seem to face struggles that directly mirror the harm they caused? This is no coincidence. It is the manifestation of a spiritual law designed to expose and dismantle the very flaws that led them to act maliciously. For those who sought to break you, life often becomes an unforgiving mirror, reflecting their own insecurities and weaknesses. They might find themselves judged in the same way they judged you, or betrayed by the very people they trusted most. Consider Proverbs 26:27, which says, "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them." Isn't it striking how life can turn their actions back on them with such precision? Where they once held confidence, they are now overwhelmed with hesitation. Where they once wielded control, they are now faced with chaos. Every step forward feels like a struggle, as if the universe itself is resisting their efforts. This isn't mere misfortune. It is a divinely orchestrated sequence of events that forces them to confront their own shadows, the hidden fears, pride, and selfishness that drove their actions. Why does this happen? Could it be that God's justice isn't just about punishment, but about transformation? Much like Saul's dramatic encounter on the road to Damascus, these individuals are thrust into a spiritual reckoning that forces them to see the full weight of their choices. Saul was blinded, not as an act of cruelty, but to open his spiritual eyes. Similarly, those who wrong a chosen one are often brought to their knees, not to destroy them, but to awaken them. The experience is deeply personal and unavoidable. It feels as though an unseen force is orchestrating events to ensure they cannot escape the consequences of their actions. It isn't just regret that they feel. It's a profound understanding of the harm they tried to inflict on someone who was divinely protected. How powerful is it to know that God watches over you so intently, ensuring that no harm against you goes unnoticed? As these individuals grapple with their trials, they come to understand that messing with a chosen one is not merely a mistake. It is a life-altering journey of correction and growth. The lessons they face are engraved into their lives, permanently reshaping their perspectives. They can't forget the experience, no matter how much they might want to. So, what does this mean for you? It's a reminder of the depth of God's protection and justice. When you feel the sting of betrayal or the weight of someone's malice, know that their actions will not go unanswered. Instead, they are woven into a divine plan that will bring them face to face with the consequences of their choices. Have you ever felt the peace of knowing that God is handling battles you don't even have to fight? This is the reassurance that chosen ones carry. The knowledge that God's justice is not just swift, but deeply personal, ensuring that every wrong is righted in His perfect time. When a chosen one's name reverberates in higher realms, it signifies something extraordinary, a divine recognition and protection that transcends the physical world. Their name becomes inseparable from a sacred frequency, a spiritual resonance that echoes through realms unseen. This vibration is not just symbolic, it holds profound power. When someone attempts to harm or diminish a chosen one, they are not merely committing a personal act of malice. Instead, they are disrupting a harmony that has been divinely ordained. Have you ever considered the weight of your own name in the spiritual realm and how it might be cherished beyond what you can see? This disturbance doesn't go unnoticed. Forces greater than we can comprehend respond instinctively, not for revenge, but to restore the balance that was disturbed. It is as if the universe itself rises to defend the chosen one, ensuring that the sacred energy woven into their existence remains undisturbed. Isaiah 54:17 reminds us, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Isn't it awe-inspiring to know that even unseen realms align to uphold this truth for those who walk in divine purpose? For those who seek to harm a chosen one, life begins to unravel in subtle yet undeniable ways. Strained relationships, lost opportunities, and an overwhelming sense of unease begin to creep into their lives. They may not immediately recognize the connection, but the warning signs are clear. They have interfered with something far greater than they understood. Just as King Saul was tormented after turning against David, their actions create a ripple effect that disrupts their own peace. Why is it that those who harm others often feel the sting of their choices in ways they never anticipated? As the chosen one continues to shine brighter, their spiritual resonance only grows stronger, amplifying their presence in realms that honor and protect them. Meanwhile, the one who wronged them begins to feel the weight of their actions, not as fleeting guilt, but as a lingering shadow that refuses to be ignored. They are haunted by the realization that their actions were more than a simple mistake. They were an affront to a divinely significant energy. This haunting isn't about punishment alone. It's about transformation. Much like the prodigal son in Luke 15, they are given a chance to see their errors and seek redemption. But the road back is not easy. They are forced to carry the memory of their actions and the consequences that follow, a constant reminder of the spiritual weight of their choices. For the chosen one, this is a testament to their divine calling. Their name does not fade. It grows louder, more revered in the higher realms. Isn't it comforting to know that your light, your very essence, is protected and cherished beyond what the world can understand? This is the reassurance of being chosen, that even when others try to tear you down, the forces of heaven ensure that you rise stronger, and your name continues to echo in realms that celebrate your purpose. The question remains, how will this awareness shape the way you perceive not only yourself, but also those who challenge you? Will you find strength in the knowledge that your energy carries divine significance? Or will you allow the doubts of others to shake your faith? The answers lie in the realization that you are guarded by something far greater than any earthly force. When someone wrongs a chosen one, the consequences go beyond mere bad luck or unfortunate circumstances. They experience a profound and unsettling halt in their personal growth. Life takes on a repetitive, frustrating rhythm, as if they're stuck in an unbreakable loop, facing the same challenges over and over. This is no coincidence. It's the result of disrupting something far greater than themselves. By acting against someone divinely protected, they unwittingly sever their connection to the natural flow of growth and success. Have you ever noticed how some people seem unable to move past certain struggles, no matter how hard they try? Could it be that their actions against others are holding them captive? For those who harm a chosen one, life begins to resemble quicksand. Each effort to move forward only drags them deeper into the same difficulties. Relationships crumble, career advancements vanish, and opportunities slip away, leaving them confused and frustrated. It's as if an invisible hand is redirecting their every step, forcing them to confront the choices they made. Proverbs 11:5 teaches that the righteousness of the blameless makes their paths straight, but the wicked are brought down by their own wickedness. Doesn't this highlight the profound spiritual law at work, ensuring that those who act with integrity thrive, while those who harm others face a reckoning? This is not traditional punishment, rather it is accountability enforced by divine order. Growth and success are inherently tied to alignment with integrity and righteousness. By choosing to harm a chosen one, they step out of that alignment, effectively cutting themselves off from the blessings that come with it. No matter how much effort they put into moving forward, they find themselves thrown back into the same lessons, unable to escape until they understand and acknowledge the harm they've caused. Why is it that life seems to intensify these lessons when people resist facing the truth? The deeper they dig into denial, the harsher these consequences become. Their personal and professional lives are marked by unexplained setbacks, creating a sense of being trapped in an invisible maze. Each failure, each missed opportunity, is a push from the universe, urging them to reflect on their actions. Much like Pharaoh's stubbornness in the book of Exodus, which brought about escalating plagues, their resistance to acknowledging their wrongdoing only magnifies the challenges they face. Have you ever considered how humility and accountability might open the door to freedom and growth? Eventually, the realization begins to dawn on them. Their struggles are not random, but directly tied to the chosen one they wronged. Regret starts to creep in, accompanied by the haunting understanding that they cannot move forward until they confront and correct their actions. They might feel as though a shadow lingers over their lives, reminding them of the weight of their choices. Growth will only resume when they take responsibility, seek forgiveness, and realign with the principles of integrity and respect. For them, this cycle serves as both a lesson and an opportunity, a chance to transform and redeem themselves. But until they seize that opportunity, they remain stuck, reliving the same harsh realities. This is a reminder for all of us. How often do we pause to reflect on the impact of our actions on others? And are we willing to make amends when we recognize we've stepped out of alignment? For those chosen by God, this serves as a testament to His protection and justice, ensuring that no harm against them goes unnoticed or unaddressed. When someone wrongs a chosen one, the consequences are anything but ordinary. Karma doesn't merely arrive, it settles in, rearranging their life in precise, deliberate ways that leave no doubt about the connection to their actions. This isn't random misfortune. It's a deeply personal reckoning, tailored to strike at the heart of what they value most. Have you ever noticed how life seems to target someone's greatest source of pride when they act against another? This is not coincidence, but divine order, ensuring that their choices come full circle. For someone who places their identity in their career, the unraveling might begin there. Projects fail, promotions vanish, and their professional reputation starts to erode. If their self-worth is tied to their relationships or social standing, cracks appear in their closest connections, leading to betrayals and isolation. It's as though the very foundation they've built their life upon becomes shaky, forcing them to confront the emptiness they tried to create for someone else. In Job 4:8, we're reminded, "As I have observed, those who plow evil and those who sow trouble reap it." Doesn't this verse beautifully capture the spiritual law of sowing and reaping, ensuring justice is served? What sets this karma apart is its precision. It doesn't scatter misfortune randomly. It strikes with an artistry that mirrors the harm they caused. If they cause someone to feel helpless or stripped of value, they experience that same loss in the areas they hold most dear. Their confidence crumbles, trusted allies turn their backs, and the security they once took for granted dissolves. Why is it that the universe seems to know exactly where to hit, ensuring the lesson is deeply felt and impossible to ignore? As their life begins to unravel, the realization dawns. This is not mere bad luck. The losses, setbacks, and betrayals are reflections of the harm they inflicted. Each painful event serves as a mirror, forcing them to see the consequences of their actions. Just as King Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible was humbled and stripped of his kingdom until he acknowledged God's sovereignty, Daniel 4:28-37, these individuals face their own humbling journey. How often do we see pride lead to a fall, only for the person to later recognize the error of their ways? The regret becomes all-encompassing as they watch their life dismantle piece by piece. The things they once took pride in, their achievements, their relationships, their reputation, slip through their fingers. But this isn't merely about punishment, it's about understanding. Each loss carries a message, a call to reflect and confront the harm they caused. It's as though the universe is saying, feel this pain, not out of cruelty, but so you understand the weight of your actions. This process isn't quick or fleeting. It's a prolonged experience designed to ensure they grasp the depth of the hurt they imposed. Every betrayal, every setback, every loss serves as a vivid reminder of the emptiness they tried to inflict on someone else. Over time, they come to see these losses not as random tragedies, but as deliberate, divine lessons. They realize that actions, even those taken in secret, leave an indelible mark on others and on themselves. For the chosen one, this is a testament to their divine protection. Their pain does not go unnoticed. It is answered with justice that is as precise as it is profound. Isn't it comforting to know that every wrong against you is seen and accounted for, not by your own hand, but by forces far greater? This is the assurance of walking in alignment with God's purpose, that no harm against you will ever go unanswered. When someone wrongs a chosen one, they unknowingly invite a unique form of karma that clings to them like a persistent shadow. This isn't the kind of guilt that fades with time. It's a deeply embedded regret that haunts them relentlessly, resurfacing in their thoughts, memories, and experiences. Life itself becomes a reflection of their past actions, replaying the moments they tried so hard to forget. Have you ever wondered why some people seem unable to escape the consequences of their choices, no matter how much they try to move on? This haunting regret is not accidental. It's as though the universe conspires to ensure they are constantly reminded of the harm they caused. Everyday interactions begin to carry echoes of the chosen one. Songs, places, even chance encounters with people who resemble or remind them of the person they wronged bring the memories rushing back. These aren't coincidences. They are intentional nudges from a higher power, forcing them to confront their actions. Ecclesiastes 12:14 declares, "For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil." Doesn't this verse perfectly capture the unrelenting nature of divine accountability? What makes this experience especially powerful is its persistence. The regret doesn't come in waves that subside. It lingers like an ache, a constant reminder that cannot be ignored. Quiet moments become unbearable as the weight of their actions gnaws at their peace. Even attempts to distract themselves through new relationships, busy schedules, or shallow pleasures fail to offer relief. Why does it seem that the harder they run, the more they are confronted by the very thing they wish to escape? The universe presses on their bruise, ensuring they feel the full weight of their choice. Each reminder, each flash of memory serves as a mirror, reflecting not only the harm they inflicted, but also the undeniable significance of the one they hurt. Just as Judas could not escape the guilt of betraying Jesus, their regret becomes an inescapable part of their story. What does it say about the depth of divine justice that even the most hidden acts against a chosen one are brought into the light? This cycle continues until they are willing to face the truth of what they've done. The regret is not meant to destroy them, but to lead them to a place of acknowledgement and, hopefully, transformation. Yet many resist, burying their guilt beneath layers of denial. But no matter how deep they dig, the truth remains, rising to the surface when they least expect it. Have you ever experienced a moment when life seemed determined to remind you of a lesson you'd been avoiding? For those who have wronged a chosen one, the realization eventually sets in. They didn't just hurt another person. They hurt someone marked by divine purpose, someone whose glow was meant to illuminate not just their own path, but the lives of others. This mistake becomes a defining moment in their own journey, marking them with a haunting awareness of what they've lost and the harm they caused. The weight of watching the chosen one rise, even as their own life seems mired in stagnation, only deepens the regret. The chosen one's continued growth and radiance serve as a constant reminder of the opportunity they squandered and the connection they betrayed. In this, they learn that some actions have consequences that cannot be undone. They're left to grapple with the question, how do you make peace with a mistake that has forever altered your path? It's a question that lingers, compelling them to either seek redemption or remain in the shadow of their own choices. When someone wrongs a chosen one, they unknowingly step into a battle that extends far beyond the physical realm. The consequences they face are not limited to earthly setbacks. They are met with powerful manifestations from unseen realms, forces that exist to protect and uphold the purpose of those divinely chosen. This is not mere coincidence or karma. It is a direct intervention from higher entities, guardians, or even ancestral spirits who stand watch over those marked by a divine calling. Have you ever wondered how unseen forces might work to shield you, even when you're unaware of their presence? For the person who attempts to harm a chosen one, life begins to feel like an unexplainable maze of roadblocks. Projects that once seemed promising stall inexplicably. Relationships that appeared stable crumble without warning. Opportunities that should have been certain slip through their fingers as if an unseen hand intervenes. These are not random occurrences, but deliberate actions by forces beyond human comprehension. Psalm 91:11 assures us, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Isn't it reassuring to know that this divine protection operates on a level far beyond what we can see? These unseen forces don't operate on human timelines or follow earthly rules. They respond with precision and purpose, crafting obstacles that serve a singular mission to shield the chosen one and enforce divine balance. Every move the wrongdoer makes is met with resistance, as if an invisible barrier rises up to block their path. Why do these forces act so decisively? It's because the chosen one's purpose is too important to be derailed, and any attempt to interfere triggers a cosmic response designed to correct the imbalance. For the person who caused harm, this realization becomes deeply unsettling. They begin to sense that they are up against something far greater than themselves, forces that cannot be reasoned with or escaped. Every step they take feels like walking into quicksand, pulling them deeper into frustration and failure. Consider the story of Pharaoh in Exodus, who defied God's will and faced relentless plagues as a result. Each attempt to assert his control was met with divine resistance, forcing him to confront the futility of his actions. Doesn't this story illustrate how those who defy divine order inevitably face consequences beyond their control? This supernatural intervention serves as both protection for the chosen one and a lesson for the wrongdoer. It's not about revenge, it's about enforcing a spiritual boundary that should never have been crossed. The obstacles, setbacks, and inexplicable failures are messages, loud and clear. Some paths are guarded, and tampering with them comes at a cost. The more the wrongdoer tries to push forward, the more they encounter the unyielding energy of these unseen protectors. Over time, the weight of this experience becomes undeniable. They realize that no amount of effort, strategy, or willpower can overcome the forces working against them. It's a haunting lesson, a reminder that some boundaries are sacred, and crossing them invokes powers far beyond human comprehension. These manifestations are not just about stopping the harm, they are about preserving the chosen one's path and ensuring that no disruption goes unanswered. For the chosen one, this is a powerful testament to the divine forces that surround them. Even when life feels overwhelming, they can trust that their purpose is fiercely guarded by entities operating on levels they may never fully understand. Isn't it extraordinary to think that your life is protected by powers greater than anything on this earth? This is the reassurance for those walking in their divine calling. No attack, no betrayal, no harm against you will ever succeed without encountering resistance from realms far beyond our own. When someone wrongs one of God's chosen, they often find themselves plunged into a profound kind of isolation, one that feels heavier than mere solitude. This isn't just a falling out with a friend or a series of unfortunate misunderstandings. Instead, it's as though an invisible spiritual force begins to shift the dynamics of their relationships. They notice people around them slowly withdrawing. Friends stop calling. Family members grow strangely distant, and colleagues become less engaged. It's not something they can easily explain, yet the reality is undeniable. This separation doesn't come as a direct punishment, but as an energetic reflection of the harm they intended. The void they sought to impose on you now envelops them, creating an emptiness they can neither escape nor ignore. In the Bible, we see echoes of this concept in the story of Haman in the book of Esther. Haman plotted to harm Mordecai, one of God's faithful servants, but his scheming ultimately led to his own downfall. Just as Haman was isolated and shunned in the end, those who harm a chosen one often experience a similar estrangement. Could it be that this isolation is a divine mechanism to compel self-reflection and repentance? The offender's isolation becomes more than just physical. It takes on an emotional and spiritual weight. Those who once surrounded them start to feel an inexplicable discomfort, as if they're picking up on an unseen signal, warning them to step back. Over time, the offender's efforts to build new connections or rekindle old ones feel futile. Every interaction seems shallow and fleeting, lacking the warmth and authenticity they once took for granted. Have you ever wondered how it feels to search desperately for connection and yet be unable to grasp it? This forced solitude acts as a mirror, forcing them to confront the harm they tried to inflict on someone chosen by God. This heavy silence becomes a constant reminder of the spiritual imbalance they've created. Just as Proverbs 18:24 reminds us, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly." Their inability to maintain meaningful relationships reflects the distance they tried to impose on you. What happens when the very energy they directed outward turns back to confront them? They are left in an overwhelming void, realizing too late the value of authentic connection and the weight of their actions. This isolation is not just a loss of companionship, it is a stark, undeniable spiritual reckoning. It forces them to understand that harming someone with divine purpose has consequences far beyond what they could anticipate. And as they sit in the silence of their self-created loneliness, they are left to wonder, how do you repair what you've broken when the echoes of your actions reverberate in realms you cannot see? When someone wrongs one of God's chosen, they unknowingly enter a relentless cycle where life's hard lessons repeat themselves, demanding their attention and growth. It's as though a divine mirror is placed before them, forcing them to face the very struggles they sought to impose on a soul with a higher calling. No matter how much they try to move forward, they find themselves caught in an unbreakable loop, encountering the same difficulties time and time again. Consider the words of Galatians 6:7, which remind us, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever one sows, that will he also reap." These offenders begin to experience this principle firsthand. Relationships crumble for eerily similar reasons, regardless of the partner or circumstance. Businesses and personal projects fail, not due to a lack of effort, but because of obstacles that seem uncannily familiar, as if life itself is leading them in circles. Have you ever wondered how it feels to pour your heart into something, only to see it unravel in the same way over and over again? This repetitive cycle is not a coincidence or mere bad luck. It's a spiritual mechanism, pressing them to confront their actions and the harm they tried to bring upon a chosen one. They may experience fleeting moments of joy, a milestone reached, a short-lived success, but that satisfaction is quickly replaced by emptiness. True peace and fulfillment remain just out of reach, as though life is deliberately withholding them until the lesson is learned. Why does joy vanish so quickly for those who refuse to reflect on the energy they've unleashed? In the Bible, the story of Pharaoh in the book of Exodus illustrates this principle well. Despite numerous signs and warnings, Pharaoh hardened his heart against Moses and the Israelites, repeatedly choosing to defy God's will. Each time he was met with harsher consequences, yet he refused to change until it was too late. Similarly, those who harm God's chosen find that life will continuously confront them with the same challenges, increasing in intensity until they are willing to acknowledge the spiritual imbalance they have caused. Each failed relationship, every financial setback, and every fleeting moment of happiness becomes a divine nudge, a reminder that they must take responsibility for the harm they tried to inflict. Could it be that life itself is acting as a teacher, refusing to let them escape the consequences of their actions until they truly repent? The Bible often speaks of the refining process of the soul, as seen in Proverbs 3:12. The Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father the son he delights in. In this way, the cycle is not merely punishment, it is an opportunity for growth and redemption. Until they acknowledge the weight of their actions and the divine protection that surrounds the chosen ones, this cycle remains unyielding. Life will continue to press upon them with the same harsh lessons, growing louder and more insistent. This repetition is not random, it's a spiritual reflection of their own imbalance, urging them to seek forgiveness and restoration. Only then, when they come to terms with their wrongs, might they find the peace and liberation they so desperately seek. Will they recognize the lesson before it's too late, or will they remain trapped in the echoes of their own choices? When someone wrongs one of God's chosen, they unknowingly set themselves on a path where reminders of the person they tried to harm become inescapable. These aren't fleeting memories or mere coincidences, they're persistent echoes, woven into the fabric of their daily life. No matter how much they try to move forward, traces of the person they wronged surface in unexpected ways. Perhaps in a conversation overheard at a cafe, a news story about resilience and triumph, or a chance encounter with someone who exudes a similar energy. These reminders are not accidental. They act as divine markers, subtly but firmly keeping the chosen one's presence alive in their conscience. This phenomenon mirrors the words of Proverbs 24:17-18, which caution, "Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and let not your heart be glad when he stumbles, lest the Lord see it and be displeased and turn away his anger from him." In this case, it is the offender who stumbles, burdened by reminders of the very person they sought to derail. Imagine the weight of seeing joy, freedom, and success wherever they turn, qualities they tried to strip away from someone divinely protected. Could these constant reminders be life's way of nudging them toward reflection and repentance? The reminders aren't limited to thoughts or emotions. They seep into the physical world. Perhaps they encounter someone wearing a familiar outfit, gesturing in a way that mirrors the chosen one's mannerisms, or speaking words that resonate with the same truth and energy. Each moment feels uncanny, as though the universe is conspiring to bring the chosen one's essence back into their life. It's as if God himself is whispering through these encounters, "Remember the one you tried to harm. See how they thrive." This constant awareness grows into something deeper than guilt. It transforms into a gnawing ache. The offender realizes not only the harm they intended, but also the incredible resilience and light of the person they wronged. They see evidence of the chosen one's flourishing, their success untouchable and radiant, as though God is making a statement. Have you ever wondered how it feels to witness the person you tried to hinder shining brighter than ever while you remain stagnant, bound by your own choices? In the Bible, Joseph's brothers offer a vivid example. After selling him into slavery, they were later confronted with Joseph's rise to power in Egypt, a position that placed him above them. Their guilt and regret were magnified by the unavoidable truth that the brother they sought to destroy was not only thriving, but was instrumental in saving their lives. Similarly, those who harm God's chosen are left with the piercing awareness that their actions could never dim the light of someone divinely called. This relentless presence becomes a haunting reality. The chosen one's influence appears in places the offender never expected and cannot escape. Life whispers reminders at every turn, reflecting the offender's lost opportunity to align with goodness and grace. While the chosen one thrives, untouched and resilient, The one who wronged them is left to grapple with a heavy truth. The very light they sought to extinguish now illuminates corners of their life in ways that are both inspiring and tormenting. Do they have the courage to face this truth, to reconcile with the past and seek redemption? Or will they continue to be haunted by the echoes of a purpose they could not disrupt? For those chosen by God, an unbreakable shield of divine blessings surrounds them, making every attempt at harm not just futile, but transformative. This shield is more than a passive barrier. It's a dynamic force that takes negativity, deflects it, and amplifies the chosen one's strength, clarity, and purpose. Every act of ill will directed at you becomes fuel for your journey, reinforcing your progress and propelling you toward greater opportunities. It's a manifestation of divine favor, a celestial defense system that ensures no weapon formed against you can prosper. Isaiah 54:17 declares, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord." This promise encapsulates the essence of this blessing shield. Have you noticed how, despite challenges or opposition, you not only survive but thrive? Each setback meant to derail you instead becomes a stepping stone, bringing you closer to your divine purpose. This shield operates with what could be called luxury karma, a process where harm intended for you rebounds with multiplied force on those who instigated it. Without lifting a finger or seeking retaliation, you witness how every attempt to undermine you is transformed into a blessing. It's as if the very forces that sought to bring you down are now working to elevate you. Have you ever marveled at how opposition only seems to make your path smoother, as if every obstacle is cleared just before you arrive? Consider the story of Joseph in Genesis. His brothers sold him into slavery, intending to destroy his destiny. Yet God turned their actions into the very means of his elevation. Joseph himself acknowledged this divine transformation when he said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Genesis 50:20. Similarly, the chosen ones of today find that every attempt to harm them only accelerates their rise, solidifying their path in ways their adversaries cannot comprehend. This shield of blessings not only deflects harm, but also strengthens your resolve and opens doors that seemed unreachable. Each time someone tries to hinder you, their efforts serve only to highlight the divine favor surrounding you, leaving them frustrated and bewildered. Have you ever observed how the more opposition you face, the more effortlessly opportunities seem to unfold before you? This divine protection ensures that nothing can interrupt your journey. Your success, progress, and ultimate purpose remain untouched, no matter the challenges or ill intentions directed your way. Those who try to interfere are left watching, helpless, as your blessings multiply and your life radiates an unstoppable light. It is a living testament to Romans 8:31, which assures us, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" Indeed, for the chosen ones, no force on earth can penetrate this unbreakable shield, and their rise continues, marked by divine power and grace that no opposition can diminish. When someone harms a chosen one, the repercussions often go beyond the tangible, taking root in their innermost thoughts and emotions. What begins as a faint whisper of insecurity quickly grows into a deafening roar of self-doubt and fear, creating a mental and emotional storm they cannot escape. This is not merely guilt, it's a profound karmic reckoning that mirrors the harm they sought to inflict. The shadows they tried to cast over you now overshadow their own lives, amplifying their anxieties and weaknesses, making their mind a battlefield they can neither conquer nor flee. The Bible reflects this idea in Proverbs 26:27. "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them." The inner turmoil they experience is a direct result of the energy they projected outward. Have you ever wondered how it feels for someone to become trapped in a spiral of their own making, unable to silence the very fears they once used against others? Their self-doubt grows into an all-consuming force, surfacing in the quiet moments when there is no one to distract them. Questions they once avoided become unavoidable. Are they truly enough? Can they ever find peace or purpose? The confidence they once had, the same confidence that emboldened them to harm someone else, begins to crumble under the weight of these questions. Their mind, once a tool for scheming, now becomes their harshest critic. Even the simplest tasks feel monumental, every decision clouded by fear and second-guessing. What could have been a moment of clarity turns into a relentless spiral of anxiety. How does one find peace when their thoughts refuse to let them rest? In the Bible, we see a similar fate unfold for King Saul in his pursuit of David. Saul's jealousy and malicious intent consumed him, leading to his eventual downfall. His insecurities and paranoia grew, leaving him tormented and restless as described in 1 Samuel 16:14. Now the Spirit of the Lord had departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord tormented him. Like Saul, those who harm a chosen one often find that their own mind becomes a source of torment, a constant reminder of the imbalance they created. This inner struggle is not random, it's a karmic mirror reflecting the energy they unleashed. The harm they intended for you now manifests as a relentless critic within their own thoughts. Every failure feels magnified, every success fleeting. Life becomes harder to navigate as their internal fears cloud their perception and judgment. Could it be that this turmoil is a divine way of urging them to reflect, repent, and realign with a better path? This internal chaos serves as both a consequence and a lesson, a powerful reminder that harming a chosen one is not without cost. As the days go by, they realize that their struggles are not external. They are rooted in their own actions and the imbalance they created. Their doubts and fears are amplified not by chance, but by a spiritual law that ensures every action has a corresponding consequence. And as they face the unrelenting storm within, they are left to wonder. Will they find the courage to confront their mistakes and seek redemption, or will they remain trapped in the echo of their own choices? When someone wrongs a chosen one, their ultimate realization often comes not just from seeing you rise, but from witnessing how effortlessly and gloriously you do it. It's as though the energy they poured into blocking your path was somehow redirected to propel you forward. While they grapple with confusion and regret, you are soaring, collecting influence, earning respect, and commanding a presence that once seemed beyond reach. It's a poetic twist that leaves them stunned, watching you thrive while they're stuck, wondering how it all went so wrong. The Bible offers a profound perspective on this dynamic in Genesis 50:20, where Joseph tells his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Similarly, the harm intended for you becomes a catalyst for your transformation, and your rise serves as a testament to divine favor. Have you ever considered how much sweeter success tastes when it unfolds in front of those who doubted or opposed you? As your reputation grows, so does the chorus of voices that once dismissed you but now sing your praises. Suddenly, those who doubted you are scrambling to rewrite history, acting as though they always believed in your potential. Yet, behind their newfound admiration, you can sense the panic, the unspoken acknowledgement that they underestimated someone walking a divinely guided path. This shift is not just about recognition, it's a spiritual ripple that reverberates far beyond what the eye can see, marking your journey as a testament to resilience, purpose, and karmic justice. Consider the story of David, who rose from being a shepherd boy overlooked by his own family to a king anointed by God. Those who doubted David's potential, like Goliath, who mocked him, watched in disbelief as he achieved victory after victory. How often do we see this pattern in life, where the very people who sought to diminish someone's light become witnesses to their meteoric rise? For those who tried to dim your light, your ascent must feel like a constant reminder of their failed attempts, a "thanks for the boost" moment written in bold. Your rise isn't just upward, it's luminous. The influence and power you now hold serve as a beacon of inspiration, not just for yourself, but for everyone who observes your journey. The harder they tried to tear you down, the more resilient you became, and now your success shines brighter than ever, so much so that it's impossible to ignore. Have you noticed how those who once worked against you are now on the sidelines, watching every move with a mix of fascination and regret? For those who sought to interfere with your path, the reality of your success is like an endless replay of a story they didn't want to see. Their efforts to block you have become the very foundation of your strength, leaving them with nothing but regret and the bitter humor of knowing they contributed to your victory. The light they tried to extinguish has become a neon glow they can neither dim nor touch. Your journey stands as living proof of God's promise in Psalm 23:5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. And now, as your influence grows, you stand as a radiant testament to the truth that no weapon formed against a chosen one shall ever prosper. The journey of a chosen one stands as a profound testament to resilience, unwavering purpose, and the unshakable support of divine realms. Every attempt to dim your light has only intensified your glow. Every obstacle has been reshaped into fuel for your ascent. The wrongs done to you ricochet back with a force that leaves those who sought to harm you awestruck and regretful, realizing too late that their actions could never alter the trajectory of your destiny. Your aura is not only fortified by your inner strength, but also safeguarded by unseen forces that transform setbacks into stepping stones. In Proverbs 19:21, we are reminded, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." Your life is living proof of this truth. Despite the intentions of others to derail your path, you ascend beyond the reach of their efforts, propelled by a purpose greater than yourself. Have you ever noticed how every challenge you face ultimately aligns with your growth, as though the universe itself conspires to ensure your success? Each victory you achieve resonates far beyond the physical realm, sending ripples through dimensions seen and unseen. Those who wronged you are left grappling with a mixture of awe, disbelief and regret as they witness your rise, a rise they could never have anticipated nor prevented. But your journey is not about proving them wrong or seeking vindication. It's about stepping into the fullness of your divine calling with grace and authenticity. Have you ever considered how powerful it is to ascend not through revenge, but through unwavering alignment with your purpose? Your path mirrors the story of Joseph, who, despite being betrayed by his brothers, rose to a position of great authority and used it to save many lives. In Genesis 50:20 he says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done." Like Joseph, you turn every betrayal, every setback, into a part of the tapestry of your calling, woven with threads of resilience and divine favor. For those who doubted you or sought to harm you, your journey becomes a mirror reflecting their own limitations. They see not only their failure to hinder your destiny, but also the brilliance of a life lived in alignment with higher realms. True power, as your story demonstrates, does not stem from control or manipulation. It comes from authenticity, purpose, and a spirit grounded in faith and determination. This is your story, a story of transcending adversity, embracing unshakable purpose, and rising to heights that defy all expectations. The regrets of others may linger, but they are not your focus. Your gaze is set firmly on the limitless horizons ahead, each step you take serving as a testament to your calling and to the divine forces that propel you forward. In this journey, every success becomes a beacon of hope, and every challenge a testament to your resilience. That, ultimately, is the sweetest truth of all. You are not just protected, you are unstoppable. As we bring this heartfelt message to a close, let it resonate deeply within your spirit. Being one of God's chosen ones means you are uniquely set apart, protected, and destined for greatness. While the journey may not always be easy, and you may face challenges or betrayal, remember that the God who called you is faithful to complete the work He began in you. Those who have wronged or doubted you may one day regret their actions, but your focus is not on their judgment. Instead, your mission is to continue walking in faith, love, and the divine purpose that has been placed on your life. Your name echoes in higher realms, celebrated by angels and lifted by God Himself, because you are chosen and dearly loved. If this message has blessed you and brought clarity or encouragement to your heart, we invite you to support our ministry through a super thanks donation. Your generosity allows us to continue spreading these messages of hope, faith, and inspiration to a world in need. If you are unable to donate, know that your presence here is already a blessing, and we are deeply grateful for your time and support. Before you leave, please don't forget to like this video to help it reach more people who need to hear this truth. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a message of encouragement. Share this video with a friend or loved one who may be feeling lost or discouraged, and comment below to let us know how this message touched your heart. Your testimonies and reflections inspire us and others in this amazing community of faith. As you go about your day, may God bless you abundantly. May He fill your heart with peace, strengthen your spirit, and guide you in every step of your journey. Remember, you are loved beyond measure, chosen for a divine purpose, and destined for eternal glory in Christ. Thank you for being here, and we can't wait to see you in our next video. Stay encouraged and stay blessed.